Hi, this is Caroleena, and this is going to be a tutorial for how to do a cat-eye isolation. So, a cat-eye is a horizontal, front-facing isolation that travels in a line. It's a linear isolation that extends as big as it can in each direction. An isolation is where the hoop appears to be stuck in space and you're turning it in a circle. In a linear isolation, the hoop travels in a line as it's doing that circle. So all you need to know about that is that if your hoop is in your right hand, I think the easiest way to start the cat-eye is to go to the opposite side of the body, then across the top to the same side of the body, and then crank it down. So a cat's eye is almond shaped. It's big at the bottom, comes to a point, comes back round at the top, comes to a point at the other end, and it's round down here. So we're simulating that with our hand and how we move the hoop. I find it can help me to extend my thumb on the inside of the hoop to help give me the strength to take the hoop out as far as I can take it. So notice that my arm, my elbow is not bending, my arm is moving from the shoulder. I extend my arm to the left as far as I can, and then I let it come up until it's at its point. It should be at a 90-degree angle from my body and parallel to the floor. Then I'm going to let the hoop go. Notice my thumb is pointing down right now. I'm going to let the hoop go. I'm going to come back to my center with the hoop nice and high so my elbow still does not bend, and my arm is straight up and beside my ear. And the hoop is sitting on the top of my fingertips. And then for the other corner of the eye, normally we'll have the movement, the centrifugal force of the hoop to make this happen. But for the purposes of this, I'm going to use my other hand to indicate that it continues to fall out until it's fully extended to this side. My arm is now at a 90-degree angle from my body again and parallel to the floor on the other side of my body. And then here comes the real muscle work of the tricep. And you crank the hoop down until it's right back in front of you where it started, pointing straight down at 6 o'clock on your clock. So it's going to go from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock. So now when you start to think about those points, you're going out in a line until you can't anymore, and then your arm goes out, and in that point, think about you're going to go from holding your hoop to letting it go over and up and out and catch it. Practice that whole top of the cat-eye repeatedly until you can go up and out, up and out, up and out, up and out. Notice my elbow is not bending. I'm learning this with my arm bent. Later you can adjust the size of it by bending your arm, but I think for getting your mind around the idea, keeping the arm straight is the way to go. So after you've played with moving across the top a little bit, play with moving across the bottom a little bit. So out and down, out and down. Like the hoop is rolling, rolls to the 90 degrees, rolls to the 90 degrees. The closer I can keep the hoop to my body during this roll, the easier it's going to be. Because if it's way out here, I'm always trying to accommodate in some way. But if it's right here, I'm going out and back, out and back, out, up, over, down, out, up, over, down. So a cat-eye can be done in either direction. We started doing it by following the thumb out, back of the hand, catching the grip, and down. But we can also let our cat-eye, because it's horizontal, it can go to either side. So we can go out on the same side, balance it at the 12, let it continue to fall and grip it over to the opposite side with the thumb down, then slide the thumb around inside, push down with the heel of the hand, and crank it back down so that you end up back down low in front of you. So you need to use all of these big muscles up here to make this crank down happen. That is the most muscle intensive part of this move. So if you're trying to do it with your wrist, you're making it harder, you're likely to hurt yourself, and you can even give yourself a repetitive motion injury like tendonitis. Let your shoulder be the thing that can do it. Your shoulder can handle this amount of weight easier than your wrist can. So once you've got that, just practice going out, touching the side, coming up, balancing it on top, going over, touching the other side, and cranking it down. If you can do it slow, later it's going to be a lot easier to do it fast because you've got the momentum of the hoop. Then once you start to get that, practice doing it to a timing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then practice alternating. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One thing that you can know is that when you're reaching across the body to let your hoop open out, if you turn your chest, it helps considerably. If you're trying to keep your chest forward, that's a real workout to move your hoop like that. If you let your chest go with it and open, it gives you much more access to your range of motion. So notice I'm turning my chest with it as it goes out this way, and then I'm turning my chest out with it as it goes this way, and I'm cranking it down by leading with my chest. I'm going to turn to the back and see if you can see what I'm doing here. If you're right-handed, hopefully this will help you. And I'm going to turn towards the mirror like you're with me in this class. Never tried this before on film, so if it works, maybe I'll do it more in the future. So we've got our hoop put down at the bottom. Let it roll to the opposite side until our arm is up and at 90 degrees. Take it across the top, let it go across the back of the hand. Use the thumb to come over the top and push it out to help us bring it to 90 degrees on this side. Move the thumb to the inside, crank it down until it's back in front of you. So 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. So that is a cat-eye, and it can help you if you use a little momentum as you slide. So remember to turn your chest, and you can also push and ride it. Notice that if you push it until all of a sudden it's going out as far as it can go, and then your hand is holding it like this, it automatically falls on your hand. All you got to do is lift your hand up and over, and it comes to the other side. So you're just kind of following it with your body. Okay, I think that might be all I have to say about that one for right now.